It is Never Run Alone. I'm Rin MacDonald, your host, and join me for another episode via the internet. We've got Chris Farron-Cothan, I Dig Running hat on, and Cam Merrick, no hat on. Normally you're both donning hats. I'm never wearing a hat, but
Solid flow.
the hat
Visors
that I
only.
the hat that I always have is this intro, which they're getting more and more off the cuff. But I hope that one goes well. How are we feeling this morning, gents?
Oh, warm,
Vibing.
nice and warm.
Yeah, had a nice sweaty run this morning across the bridge, but we're back.
We're back. This morning we're going to be chatting all things 2025, some of our biggest moments in running. We know it's not obviously the eve of the new year just yet, but next week being Christmas and then the following week will be a bit more of a preview of what is to come in 2026. But yeah, we thought it would be great to break down some of those biggest moments that have happened this year. It's been a big one for us, obviously, with this pod. We'll, of course, be chatting about our own running and then some Australian athletic updates. But first and foremost, we just wanted to acknowledge some of the events the event that happened over the weekend, unfortunately, very sadly, in Bondi. I think for me, just sort of touching on it, I've now obviously moved away from Sydney, but meeting you boys there, I know it's sort of where you both grew up. You've got events like City to Surf happening down in Bondi. It's obviously a beautiful part of the world, absolutely terrible. So just wanted to acknowledge anyone that was affected by it. And I feel like I haven't been in Sydney this past week, but the whole community really sort of coming together. So yeah, big love to everyone.
I think it's just obviously a terrible tragedy, but a good reminder to put your arms around the people close to you. And I think, we were at Run Club this morning, and I think the message everyone was carrying was, just check in on your mates and see how people are feeling, and, just acknowledge what's happened and just, check in and, embrace your community a bit and just, move through it as a group, I think is the way to do it. But yeah, obviously terrible stuff given that a lot of us, run around there, know people who live nearby in those communities most directly affected. So yeah, I think we just wanted to put it out there and put our collective arms around everyone who listens and anyone who's affected, and hope this week has been better than the last one.
I think there's a bit of a run happening on Sunday. I think through Bondi or 7 or 8 a.m. And I think the unofficial crew are putting on or joining someone who was already putting something on, a 15K little out and back around Bondi and Centennial. So if anyone wants to head along to that, hold some space.
Finishing
that
at
will
the
be,
pavilion, I think.
Yeah, a good thing to do.
Yeah, so.
Absolutely. So yeah, like you both said, I think reach out, get around your mates. We all met through running. I've run down in Bondi a couple of times. So obviously, beautiful part of the world. Very sad to see those things. We will now go back to being a running podcast, which is what we are. And the first question, Mahesh Kumar Photon via YouTube. He wants to know, he says he'd love to know what would be a good 18 to 20 week plan for a first-time Mara/half marathon runner with a pace of 5 to 6:30. Thanks, love the pod. So this come through YouTube, I think a week or two ago. We're not going to answer, I think what would be best is rather than answering that very specific question.
Giving you a full 18-week block.
Let's give basic theory to this. And I know, Chris, you're very self-coached. Cam and I both coached by Matty Abel. Matty's just redone my plan because I've been on the move, as I've spoken to the past weeks. But Chris, maybe you start. What would your theory be? 18 to 20 week block. And then I'll let Cam off the leash.
Absolute kudos to you for going with 18 to 20 weeks off the bat. Because I think a lot of people, when they first get into running, go, oh, marathon block, 12 weeks. That'll be chill. And I think, sure, if you are a sub-elite / experienced runner, 12 weeks can be enough. But for someone who's just starting out, by the sounds of it you are, 18 to 20 weeks is a great place to start. And basically, you just want to spend the first big chunk of it building that aerobic base. So I would even say like you're kind of only getting up to maybe 50 Ks per week by halfway.
Yeah.
So you're starting,
Maybe.
maybe. You're starting slow. You're not punching 20K long runs on the weekend. You're kind of maxing out around that maybe 10-ish, 10 to 15 as your longest run for that first maybe 9-10 weeks. While you're getting your body, your system ready to kind of hit those longer miles. As I am coming off a stress fracture, you're getting your bones ready. Like your body just hasn't been through that kind of stimulus before, so you don't want to just go balls to the wall. I'm going to run 100 Ks at 3-minute kilometers. Don't do that. It's just building, and I think like for that 5-minute, 5 to 6:30 pace range, which is what a 3 hour 30 to 4:30 mara, 5 hour mara, roughly.
Something like that.
Go with it, man.
You're not
3:30 is a
necessarily
5-minute pace.
you're not necessarily trying to get speed in. You're just doing miles on feet at that point. So I think your plan will be very much around those just long time on feet runs by the time you get to the marathon.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just starting with, and again, if you're just starting from absolutely nothing, or you might go for a couple of 5Ks, it's just like slowly building up purely like on time, and like run at whatever pace is easy for that day. And it's like, today I'm going to go run 40 minutes, like uninterrupted, and just like trying to get 40 minutes in at whatever pace it is. Doesn't matter. It's just like get some aerobic work in, and it's just like, I'm going to do 40 minutes this week or this day. Then I gradually build up to 45 and then 50 and whatever, and do it on that, rather than being like, I need to go run 10 kilometers. It's like, start with just time on feet, and then you can, as you do it more anyway, you're going to gradually get faster as it is. So don't try and bite off more than you can chew at the start, and just break. You're either doing more short runs and trying to bite it off in one big go.
Yeah, love it. I'd only just add, I think, all the bits around the actual running. So your recovery, so eating well, sleeping well, hydrating. There's some basics. Cam's got a iced coffee there. I'm having a chalky milk. But
Express delivery.
Whatever it is, just doing those things. I think Andy spoke about it as well when we had him on a week or two ago now, last week, whenever it was. But just these things that are free, that you can access, that you don't have to have, the fanciest tech or all of these things. It's just dialing that in, I think, is really underrated. Everyone wants to know, what's the very best pair of shoes that I need to be running the marathon in? It's like, if you're not sleeping well post a long run or post a really hard session or eating well, you're probably going to get injured before you even get a chance to get to the line. And the hardest thing is getting to that start line fit and ready to have a good day, whether that's 3 hours on the feet or whether that's 5-6 hours. Doesn't matter what pace you're running. Obviously, if you want to run a quick time, great, but doing all the right things for what is 4 to 5 months is tough.
I would say you kind of touched on it just then, Ren. For that 5 to 6:30 pace range for a marathon, I don't even think you need to touch carbon plated shoes. Like, stick in your Max Cush and enjoy
Max
it.
Cush.
Max Cush foot.
Max Cush shoes.
That should be that's a good name. Send that
Max
to the
Cush.
Yeah, the Max Cush. Like it.
Yeah, stay out of carbons. They're not going to serve you. They're just going to probably hurt your calves.
Yeah, get something that you can comfortably trot around in for a few hours and not feel like your ankles are going to fall off.
Yeah, and then I think as well, like, test things. So gels, if you prefer liquid carbs, if you're doing all of that fueling, like, be doing that. But then come the race, stick to what you know. Don't panic. Don't try anything different. That would be the basic theory, I think, of a block. I'm actually giving, training weeks to one of my best mates, Alex, who listens to the pod. Shout out to Mel, but I'm sort of helping him. He wants to run Melbourne. He doesn't yet have a ticket because it's sold out, and we'll come to talk about that later in the show, Aussie marathons and all of that. But I'm basically just making him think with, cool, it's essentially like 12 months because he ran Melbourne back before running was really cool in, I think, 2017, and like didn't do his training.
OG.
Yeah, didn't do it yet. Real OG. That's a joke for anyone who doesn't think that's a joke. But basically, just going, cool, 12 months. Let's just like get some running in. And then when we get closer to the marathon, we'll do a block. But you've got to have something before we do that block. Otherwise, you're going to be back to where you were. So there you go.
Love it.
Love it. Next question. Soph Kuchavlis. Have I got that right, Cam?
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah. She's sitting nearby. I've gone with a different one.
She's outside. You've got it close enough.
Close enough. She wants to know favourite Christmas song. Cam.
We were discussing this morning, and naturally on the run this morning, there was a bunch of people, people were rocking Christmas hats and antlers and, getting around the Christmas spirit. And people were singing songs. But I think my favourite is a bit of Bublé, bit of It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. It's beginning to, that. That's
Is
my
that the one
personal favourite, I think.
Introed with bells and the girls like talking to him?
I'm not sure. I think I know the one you're talking about, where it's Mr. Bublé.
Mr. Bublé, is it snowing outside, Mr. Bublé? Bublé.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Bublé. Nice. But yeah, I just love a bit of like coming with the real deep. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yeah. So that's my favourite.
You've done a fair
What
bit of
about you guys?
musical participation in your time, Cameron. You'd ever done a Christmas musical?
I haven't. Back when I was this is a bit of lore for you that you won't have known. Back when I was like 10, 11, and I was like playing instruments at school, I went and did Christmas busking at the Hornsby Shopping
Hornsby
Centre.
Fountain.
Yeah, Hornsby Fountain. Yep, squeaking away on the violin or on the clarinet, trying to make some pocket money.
With the boys or solo?
Solo up.
How'd you go?
Little Christmas hat on.
Do you remember what you made? How much you made?
I think I made like $80, which as a kid was pretty solid. I feel like a lot of that was my grandpa probably coming by and just dropping me like a $20 note in there or something like that, or just like putting $2 coins in every time he walked past and just coming in and watching, given he was a great supporter of mine. But yes,
I too had my days of busking at Hornsby Fountain.
there you go. It's
a real spot. Yeah.
What were you doing, Chris?
Just contemporary singer-songwriter covers, obviously.
Of course, you were fucking Ed Sheeran over here.
Absolutely. A-Team went off.
Yeah, I could say it.
See, I wasn't musically talented and still am not, but the best story I have from my family is my little brother with one of those accordions, but you just open and close it and it would play a song. And in Bright, very rich part of Victoria, I think he made a few $100 one morning from literally just opening and closing it as like a 7-year-old kid.
That's great. Well, I was really like, capitalizing on like the young kid giving you a crack. Like you've only got like a short window of like a couple of years before it's like, all right, now you're just like a 14-year-old who's actually not that good. And like,
They're not giving you a sympathy fiver. No,
playing like
Go
Christmas
get good at
carols.
something.
Anyway, it was fun. But yes, so there you go. There's a bit of lore for you.
Love it. Chris, favourite Christmas song?
Got to be Oh Holy Night. I think... I don't know if Bublé does one. I know Mariah does one. But it's a classic. It's very emotional. When the fall on your knees hits, whew, it's very good.
It's always funny when you see like it's like, oh, Mariah Carey makes $10 million every Christmas just from like getting straight back into the top.
More than that, bro. More than that.
Yeah, it's probably more than that. Bublé just like buying another holiday house each Christmas. Yeah, it's good living if you can do it.
It's crazy. Just put your feet up for 11 months, and then get back out.
Who cares? Yeah, and you don't have to work. You just do it again. Just make sure they've got them in the right playlists.
Working on it, man.
Yeah.
What do you got for us?
I don't know. I love Christmas, but I'd say Last Christmas by Wham.
Oh, a
Great one.
classic. A
Great
very
one.
good
Can
one.
take
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, huge one.
Yeah, always gets a good
Want to
play.
give us a
Feel
few
like it's
bars
in,
or?
feel like it's in a few movies. Last Christmas, I gave
Yeah.
you my stop.
Very
Few
good.
bars, not the whole thing.
Really good.
There you go. That's me.
Great stuff.
Next question, anonymously submitted. How much Christmas music is too much Christmas music?
I feel like once
songs.
you get into the really
Three songs.
3 songs, you're a Grinch. I know
I am.
we copped Grinch allegations the other week when we said don't go too early. But I'm definitely. I watched every year. I watch Love Actually and The Holiday, and we watched Love Actually last night. Had a couple upper rolls and like just me, Soph, and her housemate, and it was great. I was like within 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm back. I'm in Christmas vibes. Like I'm locked in. Maybe it's because like I'm in a girls' share house where there's like Christmas tinsel and stuff everywhere, and maybe our boys' house isn't as festive. But it has very much got me in the mood. So once I'm in the mood, like it's just chuck a playlist on and let it ride for the day.
I spent
We're sorted.
my week working in the office, and there was Christmas music playing all day, and I felt like I was in freaking Westfield. It was not great.
Yeah.
It was good for the first, couple. I say 3 songs, and then you're like, okay, I want to jump.
Bring it back. I'd probably be somewhere in the middle. I think though, if you can, watch a few movies or get in the Christmas spirit, it's fine. But I think it's when you're in a moment where maybe there's a bit of stress, shopping centre, you've got kids, Chris, like I've just done Sunshine Coast to Swan Hill driving across 2 days. We didn't put a single Christmas song on. But now I'm here in the Christmas environment, big Christmas tree, presents under it. I'm like, I could do a few tunes. I could watch a movie. So environment.
I feel like once you're in the zone and you just like chuck you're cooking or you're doing something and you just chuck on some, this is Christmas Spotify playlist or something like that and let it just run through, rocking around the Christmas, like that sort of.
Give Mariah a few extra dollars. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Half a cent a play sort of situation. But yeah, I think now that I'm in the zone, I'm ready to just, hard and fast for maybe a week.
You gonna get it in your ears for a long run this weekend?
I might. I actually might. I dead set might. I might actually my Sunday longie. I reckon I might actually chuck Christmas tunes on. I reckon that's a great shout.
Running around Central Park like this.
Yeah, just Central Park.
Central Park, Centennial, whatever. You get the point.
Rolling around Centennial, just like clicking my fingers. I think that's the play.
I tell you, if you're running Central Park with the snow, I'd definitely be listening to some Christmas tunes. That'd be a vibe. But Centennial,
Love it.
nice.
It does look quite magical in Central Park at the moment.
I feel like that's part of it is that we don't have like the snow and like the sort of that kind of adds to the cinema of it.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Shall we get into what we're here to do? Biggest moments in our running year. I think there's been, a huge year for running. Some big records have fallen. But maybe we can start with Australian running. I know for us, I mean, Cam, you've run 5 marathons in the past,
6
12
weeks.
months or in a small period of time. 4 this year.
I did 4 in 5 months, I think, which is, again, maybe not the smartest move, but
For those listening, disclaimer: do not do that.
Yeah,
Do not
don't do that,
this.
Mahesh. Mahesh, do not do that.
yeah, pace to it.
Your,
though. So
your
2
20 week
races.
your 20-week block is 5 marathons.
Pacing.
Exactly. But I mean, then again, like, you say that, but like, I've pretty much done like, if you included like training runs, I've almost done like another probably 4 or 5 like marathon-esque runs.
Oh, totally.
But it's I'm a little past the 5 to 6:30 pace at the moment. So, take with what I do as a grain of salt.
A little bit.
But yeah, I think this year, even just from obviously like running is at an all-time boom. Like that's probably the first point to say. Like I think just the eyes on it, like the interest in it, whether that's just people running their first marathon or their first half marathon or first local 5K. Like, I'm sure there's been people who this year have done their first park run and just got out and done their first 5K just out in a trot. And that sort of stuff is enormous.
Love to see park run growth. Because, I mean, that's the gateway, right? Entry into community running globally.
For sure.
And so I think like the growth around park, surely someone's run the numbers, but the growth of parkrun, at least over the last 2 years, must have been astro-freaking-nomical.
Yeah. They surely have, well, I think they normally have like a year in review sort of thing, but it'll be really interesting. I mean, I was in Dubbo last weekend, went for a run on Saturday morning, a little bit dusty, was like running around Dubbo, decided I'd pop into the parkrun and see what was going on. First off, it's a beautiful run along the river down there, but I was like, let's see what the vibe is here. And you just you forget about, because we don't do it as much here, usually because we're doing some sort of group run or training run or something like that. And, that's great as well. But it is fun to just go down and it's so community focused, especially in those regional spots. Like, that's the only park run in town. It's just like every Saturday morning, same people, community organized, community run, finish the run. Kid gave me a super duper. I'm like, absolutely. Give me a little ice block. Continued on my run, had a chat with a couple people there. And yeah, it was great. Enjoyed just getting out for a bit of a trot. And yeah, it's probably something that I want to try and do a bit more of this year and just get around. Even if it's not ripping a 5K all out, trying to tomorrow, I know Sissy and Ella and Ash, a couple of the girls, are going to go do Curl Park Run and just try and do some stuff there.
Give it a rip.
I think just getting involved with some pacing and everything, that would be fun. So yeah, just trying to get more involved with that community stuff is great. But I just think you can see it by the difficulty in getting a marathon ticket for next year, how much interest there is in the sport. It's massive.
All right, I've just got some quick numbers to rattle off for you on parkrun.
Quick
These
stats.
are recent stats as of late 24 to 25. So global reach, 400,000 weekly participants over 2,500 events. In Oz, over 1 million unique participants by mid-2024, with strong growth rates, up 20% by 2025. UK up just short of 20% in the first 7 months of 2025. And their 5-year growth plan is on track to meet goals of doubling events and finishes by 2028, requiring at least 15% annual growth, which is getting knocked out of the park. So, parkrun, doubling itself.
Knocked out of the park. Very good. There you go. Yeah, lots of people. I mean, it's free. Just rock up, run.
Yeah.
You don't
forget your
don't
QR
need to wait on a don't need to wait on a website holding page for your ticket for that.
Yeah, I just think that's grown. Yeah, I think you can look to, obviously, we've gone around and done some travel this year with it, which is awesome. And obviously we're part of, do our local run club and things like that. And people got their own ones wherever they are. But yeah, I feel like the thing I've reflected on, especially since doing Queenstown as a sort of trip last year, is just how fun the away trips are for a run. You can see why people do them as a main holiday. It's because it's fun just to go away and have something to look forward to that you're all building towards and you worked hard for. Have the sort of prep for it get excited about it, feel the buzz, and then do something really hard and push yourself, and then have the time and enjoy it as a group and share the experience with everyone and get around everyone else. I feel like the more I run those sort of things with groups, I know it was a bit different in Melbourne because that was very there was a smaller group and it was very doing my own thing. But I definitely reflect on that compared to Gold Coast, and I probably had more fun at Gold Coast just getting around people as soon as my race finished. Whereas Melbourne was a bit more my own thing, finish the race, get out. Whereas Gold Coast was such a big crew, just sitting there kind of hyping people up for about an hour post run was just unreal. Same goes for obviously when I did Noosa. Sydney was cool for that as well. Because you can probably speak to a spectator perspective on Sydney. You probably would have known 30, 40 people doing that run.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And from having run it the year before, seeing the spectator numbers at Sydney were probably double, if not triple, than what they were in 2024. Like, it was pretty crazy seeing how many people were out, and I think like it's only going to get bigger.
I think next year
there's
will
30,000
be crazy.
people coming next year. Like, it'll be pretty incredible. So I think like I hope we get to the point of like a New York, a Berlin, or like a London where it's just literally lined by people the entire way. Which, I mean, it's not far off that, but it would just be it'd be really cool to see how
I
many
could
people
see
we
that.
can get
I
out
could
this
see
year.
that happening in the next 5 years. Honestly,
Dude, totally.
Like maybe
Yeah.
not next year, the whole way. Obviously, it's a marathon course, so it's a long. It's
It's a
long
lot
way
of
to go.
kilometers.
And you know, it's not like New York in that once you sort of get into the main part, it's very easy, I feel, to move around the course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Australians love their sport, and you know, we're just very competitive by nature, I feel, and so and that's what
I reckon if they turn Sydney into the Ozmara Championships as well, I think that'll be real cool. Like, have that as the Australian race.
They did that though.
Well, that was this year, or has it
Yeah.
always been like that?
Yeah, but I feel like it probably wasn't advertised as well as it could have been.
Yeah.
Like they got around it, but I think if you really got some promo to be like, this is the Oz champs, like get around the Aussies, like and try and
was
get
this the
everyone in.
first year that they did? They
think it might have been.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so. Or at least the one. Sorry, it might have been last year, but I don't think it used to have as much sort of like prestige as it maybe had this year with a bit of equipment behind it. But yeah, I think you just need one big year, and that's what this year was. You know, they had the Kipchoge experience there, that whole buzz, Safan Hassan as well. Like, this year was the first time a lot of people were like, oh, the marathon's on this weekend. And I think next year, people now have had the experience of being like, oh, maybe I missed it this year, but I want to go next year. And there's probably more people who have never run it before who got a ticket for next year. And that brings more people in who their mates haven't ever watched it before. So, like, I think you just got to have one big year, and then that gets interest, and then it's like you're away. And I think realistically, they're probably at that point now where I'm sure there'll be a huge lead in. I'm sure there'll be massive like buzz around it, and I'm excited to see like how they go next year. And I'd be shocked if it's not, you know, much bigger than it was last year.
What do you think they have to do to make it a bigger spectacle? Because like Kipchoge's not going to come back, right? And he's the most known runner, but there's better runners factually than him right now that sure maybe don't have that allure. Like I mentioned before we started recording, I'm reading Usain Bolt's book. He's not a marathon runner, obviously.
Usain Bolt is a marathon?
He's not going to come and run it. But it's like the big name. Like he was the draw, you know, 10, 15 years ago for all of these shorter athletic events. I feel like if they threw the same amount of cash to some Aussies to get the best Aussie runners, you know, I don't think Andy's got plans to run Sydney locked in next year, right? Obviously, he's coming back from an injury right now. But if there's some good stuff there, that then they can then get people like us, other podcasts, Aussie podcasts, talking about it more and more in the build-up and building that hype, engaging those young clubs. I know they're doing a lot of that stuff, but it then speaks to what are some of the bigger names in global running that they can get over as well?
Yeah, I think the biggest part is going to be like promoting it to people in channels that aren't runners, like whether it's on local news, if it's in community stuff, if it's like get your family down and, you know, have it as a place where people can like feel safe to bring people, their kids and family and have a good viewing experience. I think that is the biggest thing. And yeah, whether it's how you frame the draw cards of people, that's one thing. But like realistically, I think you got to get people like, someone who's never watched a marathon before isn't really going to care if Brett Robertson or Andy Buchanan are running, like realistically, because they don't know who they are. It's like obviously getting them involved and getting them to know who they are is part of the battle, but the first thing is getting them to be there to watch it, and then you might get some interest. So I think they'll be just trying to frame it as a place that, you know, to get people around it is the biggest thing. But I think it's only going to go from strength to strength, and obviously we are in that space and have loved doing that and want to be involved in that sort of stuff and helping, you know, create excitement and buzz around it. But yeah, there's even like the smaller stuff, like, you know, Noosa sold out in a day, like Melbourne sold out in a day, like Gold Coast was gone in, you know, an hour. Like those sort of things are crazy, and it's just it's awesome. that we can hopefully try and get some, more running infrastructure around races and local races and things like that, just to get people involved. So looking forward to it.
I know you might not remember Melbourne too much, Cam, given that you were very much in the hurt locker with maybe 15Ks to go running a PB, but you ran all three this year, right? Gold Coast, Sydney, Melbourne.
Yeah.
What was the best in your opinion? And I mean, obviously running, but just from what you remember about each event, build up, like the expo prior, you went to all three expos, or, at least with Melbourne, the outdoor expo, you had the VIP treatment there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd say they're all different in certain ways. I think Gold Coast, I thought was quite smooth in the way it was managed, like morning of, like throughout. They're very structured and streamlined. That one is probably a harder course for spectators, but I do think it's like a very quick course, well organized in terms of the way it spreads out, the drinks and everything like that, I thought were great. Like the way they organised it was very like high level. The Melbourne one is a bit smaller. That was like, again, obviously I had a slightly different experience being in the elite start for that. But yeah, they were awesome the way that whole, like from that perspective, from getting the start there, taking us down to the start line, like organising everything, getting us to the right spots when we needed to be, supporting us. Like that was awesome. Again, had its pockets of quietness. Like that race was special in lots of ways. Like obviously ran a PB, but got to have my parents on course, which is awesome. Had some like friends from Melbourne down there. Was unreal. And then but there's certain areas that where it was a bit congested at certain times, so they're probably learning as they go there. But yeah, like Tim and the guys down there who we spoke with, that was awesome to be involved with. And then Sydney is obviously probably the one that, like, the crowds there were crazy. Like that was, and again, I probably was, given I was pacing you, not like properly, like, full sending, that I got to probably soak that in a bit more and enjoy it. And obviously we saw 1 million people we knew on the course, which is great. Like, so I think that is, to me, that's still obviously going to be the biggest one. Like that's the major, that's the one with the biggest crowd. That's the home mara, like all that sort of stuff was special. But yeah, they're all great. In their own sort of different ways. I think there's elements of all of them that they could all learn from each other. But yeah, I loved each one individually in different ways. And Noosa too, to be honest. That was for it was a smaller mara. Was still really well done and well organised. So yeah, I think Australian running is just getting better and better, and the more they do it, the better they're going to get.
Love it. Chris, any thoughts? You obviously, unfortunately, didn't run a marathon this year. You ran the 10K, Harbour 10K.
This is true. Yep.
What, July? I think that was June, July.
Yep.
Early July. You've obviously been involved now in running sort of similar time to both me and Cam at this sort of level, but I know you're going to make a big comeback next year. Boston, maybe another one. Maybe you'll be, really clever and just do the one. I don't know if that's being clever, whatever, you know what I mean. But yeah, what are your feelings around these big three, but then just running in general in Oz?
Oh, I think like Cam has pretty much covered it all very well in that there's just been exponential growth. And I think like for myself, having missed out on the kind of back half of running this year, the FOMO has been very high. And so I think like next year for me will just be maintaining and remaining uninjured. But I think racing shorter stuff a lot more. So getting those 5Ks and the 10Ks dialed after
that as well,
Boston.
I think.
Yeah, I think like that post Boston, that middle 6 months will be just getting fast. So I think it's really cool that I think we're all able to do it with people and a good crew. Like we've got 8 of us going to Boston, and I think like that's been the biggest thing this year is like prior to, this boom of running, and unofficial is obviously a big connector for all of us. But we were doing our long runs, just the 3 of us or the 4 of us with Ella. Now that group has almost doubled, and with a really great range. I mean, like for myself, being able to run a marathon session with Sissy will be really cool. Like, it'll be epic having like a group of 5 of us all doing pretty freaking hard sessions where a year ago it was only 2 of us or 3 of us. So I think that's the biggest thing that I've taken away from this year is that come around a lot of people who are in the same boat. And we're, that rising tide is lifting us all together.
It is. And I think like anyone listening, who wants to get involved but maybe isn't planning to run next year, but just, enjoys it or, is running at that 5 to half marathon level, but, still wants to be involved, say in the marathons, you have no plan on running it, share the content. It can be our content that we put out. It can be Sydney Marathon, Gold Coast, Melbourne, whatever it is. Share your friends' stuff, comment on it, engage. Like that's how it grows. That's how it brings in more energy, attention, dollars. All of that is a really simple way, so that's what I would suggest because I think, there's obviously going to be so much that goes into continuing to help grow these, and especially Sydney. I'm moving back to Melbourne, so I've got an affection there. I'd seen and been out on the course a couple of times before I moved up to Sydney, but I'm going to be running Sydney again next year. That'll be 3 years in a row for me, and that's exciting. Like I've already got ideas of I'd love to run it 10 years in a row. I'd maybe love to run it for the rest of my life, every single year. Like those sorts of things start to then snowball, and I would love nothing more than it to be, something that is completely lined the streets, because I've got to experience New York, which, New Yorkers, which is an incredible city, New York, they say it's like the best weekend of their year, which is pretty cool. So if we could get to that as well for Sydney and for Australia, it'd be epic. There was lots of cool running things that happened outside of Australia this year. Shall we have a bit of a chat about those?
The World Champs.
Absolutely.
Start at the top.
Tokyo World Champs back in September.
Mate, that was pretty crazy to have like a run of 2 weeks, was it? It was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks of run events, athletic events every day and on our time zone pretty much. Oh, you can't ask for anything more.
Marathon starting at 9 a.m. in the morning for us.
So
great. Yeah.
Start the work week off right with a little women's marathon. It was great. Yeah, I just think that was just. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're probably all more into it than we have ever been before, but just having, and we're also spoilt for some really, really, really great races and in good viewing. Obviously, there's a bunch of ones you could talk to. There was the Mara, like men's 10K, women's 800. There's like a whole bunch of different unreal events that were just true, like just breathtaking athletics, which is unreal at its best. Bit of sport greatness.
Bruce McAvaney coming back for the coverage. We talked about him in previous episodes.
We could do a whole pod on just Bruce McAvaney coming back.
We're going to get Bruce on the pod. Shout out.
Yeah, I'd
if
love
anyone
to.
knows Bruce, a couple of
Give us
degrees
a connect.
of separation from Mr. Bruce McAvaney, please.
Yeah, I'd love to pick his brain. But I think that was unreal. And then just similarly, just getting around Australian running has been really awesome. Probably didn't have the best world champs as we would have liked, but there's still a lot of great stuff happening around. I think that world champs was really interesting just to watch. The eyes on it. Some of the big names, and I guess I feel like we've spoken about before, but the more with sport, the more you invest in it, the more you get out of it. When you spend time following people, and that goes to Rin's point earlier about sharing content, if the more you're in the world, the more that shows up for you that you find interesting, that you're going to find little pockets of things that, like, that's cool. Haven't heard of that before. Did you see this story? Oh, that's amazing. Like there's always great stories in running because it's such an accessible sport and everyone does it to a certain level. So it can hit and trigger something in your head or how you think about it by seeing every different random piece of content. So I think that's a massive part, and having that sort of spectacle for 2 weeks was definitely for me a big source of inspiration. So it was awesome. And I just think, the more of that, the better. We've got Com Games hopefully next year. There's going to be World Cross Country like that. I'm going to look forward to watching. Like there's going to be heaps of great stuff to view next year. So
I hope
Yeah,
world
it's gonna
cross
be great.
country is the muddiest thing in the entire world, because that always makes such good viewing.
Yeah, so good.
Love it. So we're going to do a bit of a preview on next year in a couple of weeks' time, but some other, I guess, big moments. Obviously, we spoke last week about Jess Stenson taking the Aussie women's record. That's a huge moment. I think Conor
Massive.
Mance breaking the men's US record in Chicago. Incredible. How long did that one stand for? Do you remember, Cam? Over 20 years?
Yeah, I think it was like 2006. Ryan
Okay.
Hall, I think it was.
No, I don't think it
Yeah.
was Ryan Hall. I don't think it was. But
Fact check me. This would be good.
Chris, look it up. Pull it up.
Yeah.
Tip tap away. Helena Beery in New York. She broke a 23-year-long female record, running sub 220 in New York, beating that record by, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. That was huge. We spoke about it as well. Benson Kipruto winning that one, becoming the first person to win the 3 US majors, Boston, Chicago, New York. Pretty huge. You got that stat there, Chris?
I do. And it was Ryan Hall. It was 2:04:58 in 2011, Boston Marathon.
There you go.
And then, wow, to do that at Boston, big.
Was the other guy
and then-
Khalid? Is like,
Yeah,
what's his name?
Khalid Kanuchi
Yeah,
at,
Carducci.
at London Marathon in 2002, 2:05:38.
That's
Yeah,
what I
there you go.
thought he had to beat. Are you sure? Ryan
Yeah,
Hall?
maybe it's because it might have been Ryan Hall's Boston one wasn't record eligible. That makes sense.
That's true.
So we're both right.
We're both right. Yeah, I was like, I
Yeah, yeah,
swear
yeah.
I
No,
saw an
you are-
interview, but
you
I
are
couldn't remember
right.
the dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the red. There's a. I'm on
Kanuchi.
Look, we're all
Wikipedia,
learning here.
and
We're all learning.
there's a red highlight over Ryan Hall's because it was not ratified by the US ATF, given that it is a net downhill run.
Notable. Point to point. But yeah, I think also probably on the Conor Mance thing, and we've spoken about as well, the rise of long form content and like great running content is probably something we want to get involved with and try and do some more of. But I think like off the back of Valencia, so many great like bits and pieces of content. I was talking with Soph the other night. We were watching. I was talking about the Pain Cave concept and that great Courtney DeWalter clip because she'd ran California CIM in like 2:38, like in board shorts. Like she's crazy.
He beat by like 11 minutes as well.
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know her, she's like basically the goat of women's trail running, like ultra running. But there's a great documentary. It's only 15 minutes, and honestly, it could have been an hour, and I would have been locked in. It's about her running the 3 biggest 100-mile races, and she goes like to each of them and dominates basically. But it's amazing. It's like 15 minutes, and she talks. She's about a 30-second to a minute monologue all about how she manages the pain cave in her head, and I definitely channel that when I think about those hard sessions I do. So yeah, a great watch. It's on like Solomon's YouTube channel.
We'll have to put it
from
in
a couple years ago.
in the show notes.
In the show notes. Yeah, it's a great.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's so many great long form content pieces like Clayton Young's, obviously. Alex Yee had some. I know
Oh,
Jen
that's a big
Gregson
moment
had
of the
some
year.
content.
Alex Yee, Valencia Marathon.
Triathlete.
Triathlete turns second greatest British marathon runner on his
Mental.
second marathon. Absolutely ridiculous. I think surely that guy's got to hang up the tri boots for a little bit and see how fast he can get.
Do we think these long-term runners are getting nervous now that a couple of these triathletes, Steve McKenna, I know
be.
it's not going to make
Yeah.
headlines, but Steve McKenna going and running second in Melbourne after a decade in Ironman and
They must be,
triathlon.
because I mean, like these triathletes are coming into the sport with engines. Like there's nothing more powerful than a triathlete's VO2. Like,
Can I give you a smoky prediction for next year?
Yeah,
That
go
might
on.
be a bit. I reckon Jimmy Whelan is going to break the Australian marathon record. I'm going to tell you right now. I reckon he
Good
is going to
shout.
run a 2:05 something, and it's going to be on debut, and he's going to be someone that is going to skyrocket into the scene. I'm calling it
love it.
now.
I love it.
I think he is the next man up. And he's come from a base of, 7 or 8 years as a pro cyclist. And I think he is just a weapon. I'd love to get him on the pod.
Mate, that clip you shared the
I'd love
other
to go
day.
for a run with him.
That clip you shared the other day of him just training on the treadmill. Oh,
Mechanics are dialed.
I was going to say, it's obviously the swimming. The swimming is great for general fitness, but I think it's the running off the bike. Obviously, the cycling, building that VO2 max, but then sitting at that pain threshold that you need to be, and then having to run off the bike. And I know, Jimmy's not doing that. He, like you said, he's a pro cyclist, but I think he got, if I'm right in saying, into cycling because his junior running just wasn't quite there. I think mentally maybe he couldn't deal with some of the things. I might be mixing my Steve McKenna's with my Jimmy Whelans, but
might be. I think he did a post the other day that was really. He did a post the other day that was really good about how why he thinks he's been able to be a successful runner so far off the back of being a cyclist, and talked about being able to be, sit at those levels of discomfort, like you said, be surrounded by see how the best operate, and how they push themselves. But yeah, I think for someone who's not had a pro marathon run yet, I'm saying it right now. I think he's the next one up, and I think he really could be like a 205 sort of guy. Which I'm putting the pressure on him, but I'm telling you, I'm a fan, and I'm going to call it. I'm going to go look back on this clip,
mate.
Give it 6 months, and I'm going to pull this clip up, and I'm going to say it.
I love it as well because I don't think I obviously not in those elite running circles, but I don't think their eyes are on Ironmen or triathletes, and then to have someone like Jimmy just pull in and go, oh, what's up? I'm going to run a 205 or 206. They'll be like, wait, hang on, where have you been for the last 5 years?
Can relate. Good to come from the shadows, except I don't have I don't have the elite base, and I'm still 20 minutes behind what they are.
Sadly, soccer definitely helps, but I don't think it helps as much as being a pro cyclist for a close.
It's kind of like playing parks footy isn't quite the same level as a pro cyclist.
It's only 2-hour sessions, or one in your case.
Yeah, just a little trot around,
little Wednesday night
kick and tickle sort of operation isn't quite the same as hours on the bike in the Alps of France and Europe. So
I tell you what, bro, reserves and seniors on a Saturday from 1 till 5. There's something in that.
Let me tell you, backing up for a first grade game after playing resis as well.
Jimmy
just doing doggies up and down the wing, crazy.
Could never. Back to back.
But yes, Jimmy, come on the pod. I want this. I'm a believer. I'm a day one believer. I want it on the pod. I want it known.
We can get Jimmy on the pod, I reckon. I know all the spots in Melbourne. I see where he's running. He runs at the gym that I used to go to there in Hawthorne.
He runs around Albert Park.
Sorry if he's trying to stay anonymous, but anyway.
No, I'm going to say I'm going to run with him as well next year. I'm going to run with him as well next year. I'm going to make it happen.
Good. Bloody good.
Yeah.
Kipchoge as well, coming out to Sydney. That was a big moment. Eliud Kipchoge ran 10th from memory.
We pause Kipchoge for 1 second? Because it has come to my attention, not recently, but a very long time ago. Rin, your pronunciation of Kipchoge?
It's Kipchoge. Yeah.
Kipchoge.
Yeah, but I do this
the whole time. The whole time, dude.
Kipchoge. Eliud Kipchoge.
Kipchoge. I'm not with Kipchoge.
Anyway, carry on.
Lane.
I mean, whoever put his name on the agenda didn't even spell it right, so I think that's more important. But yes, Kipchoge. Okay. Well, he came out to Sydney and then he ran New York, finishing up with his final major, and now he's being offered all the money in the world to change allegiances. And then running team might be losing Nike. We were chatting, they could be getting a fat check from Adidas.
Who knows? Someone's going to throw a fat check at them.
Yeah, there'll be a fat check somewhere.
I don't know if it's Adidas, but someone's going to throw a check at them.
Maybe the Saudis have been quiet and developing some super shoe for the last 20 years. Some oil-infused carbon plate.
Maybe they're about to buy Nike for $2 trillion.
Well, there was a talk that what's it called, La Ning, like the Chinese shoe brand. They were going to potentially buy Puma. That was that was interesting. I was like, okay, can they get
as a Puma operator yourself?
Hey man, I'm just running with what's fastest. I need every second I can get.
True.
But yeah, I think Kipchoge, that's going to be
You're welcome.
Yeah, Kipchoge. That is gonna be interesting. Yeah, I think what his career looks like going forward is gonna be really interesting. He's definitely still like a massive icon. I just don't know if he's gonna be ripping the same sort of
Mate, just
know,
become
races.
a rec runner. Run your 2:15 when you run a marathon, and just live, man. You've proven it all. No,
Come
you
out of the
don't- you
pain
don't-
cave a little bit. Just
Yeah,
come
yeah,
out
yeah.
here.
Just
Smell some of this chocolate.
Run-
these
run
roses.
with
His
the
pain
people.
cave would be pretty big and spacious, I reckon.
yeah.
Big pain cave.
Run with the
Yeah.
people. Pace Cam to his next 2:15 at Valencia next year. Or wherever
Maybe
it
what he
goes.
can do, we can get a narrative, right? Because I'm thinking I want to get, and I'm going Yuki. I want to get Yuki Kawuchi on at some point. I want to figure out, like, he's got no socials, can't find him
Get
online.
the translator on.
I want to figure out, because he's run, I think, over 100 sub 220 marathons, right? He's got
Yeah,
the record for that.
crazy.
It's like 125 or something like that.
Enormous. Could Kipchoge go and do that? Could he just start churning out sub 220s and try to catch Yuki Kawuchi? Is there a narrative there? I don't know. Probably not, because Kipchoge's 40. I think he's older than Yuki, or thereabouts, similar age. So you're going to have to run like 2 or 3 more a year for the rest of your life. I don't think Yuki's going to stop anytime soon. But anyway, whatever he does, it's going to be cool. But big year for Eliud Kipchoge.
Absolutely.
I'm going to find a clip of maybe him saying it how I say it and prove you guys wrong.
Yeah, exactly
I
right.
realise I'm probably wrong. Any other major things in running this year that we want
I mean,
to mention?
Mr. Benson Kipruto doing the 3 Boston, Chicago, New York wins. Pretty big. Pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
then,
think
I mean,
there's obviously
Helen
some massive ones that we're
Obiri
probably
as
not
well.
talking about in like trail and
yeah.
Halabear, I think I mentioned those before. Don't know where. Did I mention them? I think I did.
Did you? No, I don't think you did.
Anyway.
23-year long
I think you did.
female record. Crazy. Anyway,
I think you did.
circle back, whatever. Keep moving.
Good to know you were listening to my waffle. But no, some big moments. You're right. Trail running is not something we ever really talk about on here. So if you want to know the hottest news, the most we can tell you is that Courtney Dauwalter ran 2:38 as the go to female trail. But maybe next year, maybe if someone in the trail running community wants to join us on the pod once a month next year to do something special,
True.
reach out.
The one thing that
Shout
I
out.
can talk to from trail running is Nike All Conditions Gear, ACG. Their like prototype trail jersey or what, like shirt that Kipchoge ended up running in New York was very cool, and that's all I've got.
Nice. I thought you could have about to say really shit there, but you've gone with really cool.
No, it's great. It looks great. It looks very airy. Looks quite enjoyable to run in. Looks like someone's grandma crocheted it.
I was going to say, you are an aesthetics guy. As long as it's looking good. Cool. Well, I would love people to write in. Let us know what you thought the biggest moment of running was this past year. Big year for running. As we mentioned, next year, all the Australian big marathons are sold out already. I'm personally sure, though, that if you're fit, leaning in, there will be tickets floating about. People will get injured. Things happen. I'm not wishing people get injured, but it's just a natural part of life, right?
people also decide, maybe I haven't got the base for this. I'm not ready
Yeah,
for this yet.
maybe I haven't
Yeah.
done my training.
Which is sometimes the right call.
Definitely. So if you don't have your ticket, and you want to run, get fit, and one will pop up. But yeah, write in. Let us know what you think the best moments were. Shall we keep it moving, gents? The long
Let's.
run.
Do it.
Let's talk.
Should we hit Oz Athletics first?
Oz Athletics.
Yeah. Let's
do it.
quickly talk
Just
Zatopek.
breeze through it. Zatopek.
Zatopek
Yeah.
last weekend.
We got to talk Saturday night. Our
I
man,
think-
early adopters of Seth O'Donnell, the king. He has established himself now as the 5K and the 10K champion in Oz. What a beast.
Beast. Go Hawks.
Yeah, I just think, go Hawks. I think he's clearly like found whatever his training program is. I know he does. I can't remember the name of the guy. He used to be the Hawthorn like sports and conditioning coach, strength and conditioning coach. He is clear. Is like a big threshold sort of like he does a lot of threshold work. He's got a bit of a unique way of doing it, and it's clearly working for him. And I really can't wait to see how he goes this year, and hopefully gets a solid crack at the Com Games. I'd love to see him representing Australia more. I know he's going to the world cross country. I just can't wait to see him. I love his energy. I'd love to meet him. I'd love to, pick his brain. I think he's a character. So I'm looking forward to just getting around him, and that was huge. And then obviously Lauren Ryan winning the women's was also a massive win, beating Leanne Pompiani.
Big win.
Huge win.
So,
Pomp has had a massive year though, so I'll let her slide to second because she's had a big year of wins.
In third.
Yeah, massive stuff.
City Surf champion, came in third. She'll be joining me in Japan for the Red Bull 400, I believe. Yeah, in May. So that's going to be interesting.
The thing I love about Seth, I think running needs more personalities. And Seth is a personality. It's so good. I think if you're going to capture, what we were talking about, capturing people outside of running, getting them in, you need someone to get behind. And Seth is very easy to get behind. He is so sick. So more Seth content.
Big mane of brown
flapping in the wind.
It's not even a
curly.
Mullet. It's just
definitely it is a mullet. It is a mullet.
No,
for sure
I feel like it's more of a mane. It's just
it's an old school mullet.
It's mullet, but it's big. It's a maney looking thing. Yeah, the kids aren't rocking what he's rocking.
It's not the same as the the old the new sort of Aussie bogan mullet that has become quite popular.
Real
it's
cool.
the old school 80s curly, big, flowing mullet. And he's just he runs with his heart in his sleeve in a way that very few do. And I think he is easy, like you said, he's easy to get behind. So
if you didn't watch the 10K at Zatopek, just go watch Seth's vlog. He does his build up and then recap of the event. The guy just went out and put his foot down, I think, 3 or 4 laps in, was just, hey, I'm tired of jogging with you plebs. Let's run. And I think,
pedal to the metal.
Am I correct in saying that he ended up winning by over 10 seconds? He just gapped them by the end. So he just put his foot down, gapped them very early on. People ended up catching up. Stuart McSwain was very close on his heels for a few laps there, broke him. I think he ended up being a DNF.
10 laps to go.
And it was just, it was awesome. Great run.
Ed Marks in second, 10 seconds back, and then Jack Rayner another 5 seconds back. So if you're putting 15 seconds on Jack Rayner, who is a 4-time Oz Zatopek champion, you're doing something right. So to run sub 28, I know he just got under it, but sub 28 minute 10K in what was a slow start to the race, that's
incredible.
serious stuff.
Yeah, I mean, in the comments on a lot of the posts, I put one in over to you boys earlier this week. People comparing him to Prefontaine, calling him the Aussie Steve Prefontaine, which is big marks. I think he's got a long way to go, but he is entertaining. And I think the biggest thing about he had the mustache, he had a bit of a look, but the biggest thing was that he pushed it in races. He didn't go out and sit behind a pack and then waited to kick, which, I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything about running. I absolutely don't. Yes, we've got a running podcast, but I'm new to watching the tactics of running. But from what I've read about Prefontaine was he just went out hard and tried to break people and would just take records and win races. And that's what Seth's gone and done there. Yeah, he might have sat in the first few laps, but he's gone out and pushed it and, taken the win. So massive kudos to him. He made his debut for Australia in Tokyo earlier this year, running the 5K there. I think he ran 13:50 maybe. Didn't have an incredible showing in terms of placings, but
a similar thing went out
well.
early, pushed the pace because it was very much a sit and kick race. Unfortunately, he couldn't hold it, but it was hard on his sleeve.
Gave it a crack, and he'll do that if he competes for Oz at the Com Games, next year. And it'll be very interesting to watch him. He's an eccentric guy. He's a big drummer. He's actually played with my brother in a few times. Couldn't remember my brother, but really random.
There you go.
Operator.
But and also should discuss Lauren Ryan, who just seems to be in unreal form, just coming back. I think she said she was sort of 6 to 8 weeks into training and is just, running really well at the moment, and awesome to see her, just start to come back with a massive result like that and look really comfortable doing it. Keen to see how she goes at cross as well, because I think she was in the cross country trials the other week as well, as was Leanne. So yeah, just again keen to see the best in Oz running get after it.
Yeah, love it. Did Leanne win cross country last week? And then
I think so. Lauren might not have had to run, given she might have already qualified. I think
right.
Yeah, I think there's too many results going on in my head. So
There's a lot of results, but either way,
don't hold me to it.
If that was the case, either way for them to sort of back that up at the Zatopek Epic, I'm keen to be at the Zatopek next year. Be good.
I was going to say the one thing that did let me down about Zatopek is it wasn't. I don't think it had a major sponsor this year. Like last year, it was sponsored by On, and the production and everything, like the event itself, looked really, really cool. And I think it was just Athletics Australia this year were the only, like, I guess, sponsor. And it just didn't have the same, like, showmanship as it did last year. There was, like, lights and tunnels and all this kind of production stage crap, but makes an event, and it makes it something that people want to go to. And I'm pretty sure, like, they had music events on as well. I think, like, if I'm remembering correctly, like, the Jungle Giants played, like, after the show, after it. Like, yeah.
There you go.
So I think, like, as more money comes into the sport, we'll see, hopefully, like, cooler events. Like, get it to a Oz Open status where you got, like, massive artists playing and, like, all this peripheral stuff happening to capture people and get them around the running.
Love it.
For sure.
Love it. All right. Well, that's Zatopek. See you again in December. Let's chat long run, our own running. We'll start with you, Cameron. Talk to us about your last week. We're building up into a busy time of year. It's Christmas next week, Boxing Day in 7 days.
Yep. It's we are in silly season. Just trying to ride the balance between getting silly and also keeping training. I'm just trying to get the body right. I'm just carrying like little bits and pieces here. I'm still just trying to work through stuff, trying to give myself permission to cross train or do something else if I've carrying something, and really trying to focus on treatment and mobility and strength work and things like that, just to try and make sure that I've got, the right base to build into Boston.
Have you caught up to me on your deadlifts yet?
I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't hit 100 yet. I haven't done deadlifts I didn't do them last week. I think Maddie changed up my programming. I might have done something else. I'm into some pretty heavy squats. I'm into like 90, I think, which for me is pretty good.
That's good.
But yeah, just trying to be pretty consistent with that, which has been really good. And then other than that, just trying to keep the mileage ticking over. I'm about 40 or 30 Ks from hitting 4,000 for the year, which I'm pretty happy about.
That's huge, dude.
Yeah, so pretty happy about that. And other than that, just trying to keep the body ticking over, keep everything okay, and then building into next year is the goal. Just trying to keep it ticking. Staying in the game. That's it.
Nice. Christopher.
Yeah, I mean, kind of touched on it before. Or did we touch it? What was the question here? What's next year? What am I doing right now?
Talk us through you.
What's he running at the moment?
Yeah, what's me running at the moment? 20 minutes is where I'm capped at the moment. And spacing them at least 48 hours between. My stress fracture injury is all resolved and nice and good, which is great. So that's happy days. But I think the fact that I've been compensating for the last 3 months on my right side, my right ankle is just a little bit dicky. So just being careful.
Doing the Bosu ball.
Getting on the Bosu ball, yeah. Which is working wonders, just general ankle strength. And same as Cam, doing heaps of cross training. This week I did a double on the bike, which was the first time I'd ever done something like that. Did a bit of a hit, half an hour in the morning, and then a bit more of like a tempo, longer threshold work in the afternoon. So I think I hit maybe just short of 2 hours on that day on the bike, which was good. And I think I'm just going to keep doing more of that. Because my cardio was definitely suffering because I haven't been running. And I think to get that base nice and thick before getting into any kind of block, and then the block itself, like it won't be my ideal prep for Boston. I can tell you that right now. I won't be able to get the kilometers that I would ideally like to get. So I will be, substituting a lot of running with biking, which will hopefully fill the gap.
Jimmy Whelan areas. I like it.
Big time.
Work for him.
Trying to condense 8 years into 8 weeks.
Yeah, seriously.
Nice.
And so we've got like a spin bike at home, but it's in the garage. It's a tin roof. It's a brick garage. It doubles as a sauna. So my heat training is going to be right up here.
Full trackies. What are you going to be wearing?
Yeah, got a sauna suit on.
Locky style, yeah.
Yeah, bin bag over the
4
over
kilos
the
of water weight.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah, so that's me. Ideally, I've got a follow up in the new year just with the sports doc to just make sure that biomechanically everything is working the way that it should be. And then, ideally we'll be kicking off this Boston block in, back half of January. So just
Nice.
making sure that I'm good to go from there, you know?
Love it, mate. I mean, for me, I'm probably not similar in terms of at the moment I'm able to go out. I could go out and run around 23 Ks over the weekend. So I'm in decent shape. I'm not dealing with any niggles or anything like that. But I have, it's Friday morning at the moment, only run 10 Ks so far this week. So I actually spoke with Maddie via email, my coach, and I was meant to be doing a 5K time trial next week, which would have been the 3rd. But he's changed up my programming, and for the next 2 months, I mean, it's going to ramp up back in January, but the next couple of weeks will be different. And so my next 2 months are already sort of in there. But realistically, I think it's probably not going to be until mid to late Jan, so similar to you, Chris, where I can find that consistency properly again. But excited to be in Victoria now. I'll get the runs done that he's programmed in for me. This morning I woke up, funnily enough, and was just like, I'm going to run 10 Ks today, I'll run 20 tomorrow, and I'll run 10 on Sunday. And then I remembered that I have a coach and that he's gotten back to me and given me a program. So
keep your lid on, mate. Keep your lid on.
Too soon, Junior.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny, right? Ella mentioned to me, made a joke the other day. She's like, oh, you don't really follow what your coach gives you, do you? You just go out and do whatever you want, which has been elements of the truth for me over the time, albeit I definitely do respect and follow that. But yeah, I was going to run 10 Ks today. I've got an easy run, 45 minutes. So that'll be close-ish to 10 Ks, maybe a little bit less. I was then going to run 20 on Saturday. I've got this weekend 45 minutes and then an hour and a half on Sunday. So look, it's going to be basically what I thought, which is good. So I'll be following that. And then, no 5K time trial for me the day after Boxing Day. But it's back. I'm feeling good about that.
You guys going to do 100 hundreds before the end of the year?
I'm not going to do that. No, I did that last week.
I had a look at that session this morning. I was talking about it at Rod Club because I was like trying to find a photo of
so great,
like a Christmas run last year, and that popped up, and I saw it. I was like, oh man, that was. I think I did 100 hundreds. I think my average was like I had none over 21 seconds, and the average was like 18.8 or something with 20 seconds break. That was a crazy run.
Respect.
Yeah, brutal.
We're all a bit battered to do something like that.
I think we're all
I don't know my body would hold.
now. Yeah. I think the smarter element of like, cool, footballers do it, and that was the idea. I did it with girlfriend's brother, plays VFL, and we all ended up doing it as mates from wherever we were, but not the smartest thing, I think, especially looking to run Boston.
We were all
we were dealing with a few niggles, so.
It was so hot that day too, I remember
it was disgusting,
crazy.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be hot next week, wherever you are, I think. Australia.
Exactly right.
It's hot today.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
Love it. All right, well, that's the long run. Buy, sell. What
Oh,
are we buying or selling, Chris?
I got my buy.
Oh, Fancy's ready.
I'm buying the Bosu ball, the old balance disc. Yeah, it's so good. My
Wow.
as I was saying before, my ankles have been unstable since injury, and so just getting on them for doing kind of 3 sets of a minute each foot has been epic. Really, yeah, getting those tendons strong again, activating all those sleepy muscles that haven't been used in a while, stabilizing that base.
I need to get back on it.
Get on the Bosu ball, man.
Get the ankle going.
Yeah,
Exciting.
Smart.
that's me.
What do you got, Rennes?
Love it, Chris. There's a few things I could buy this week, but I'm going to stick to one, and I talked about it a little bit before, but it is this book, Usain Bolt, and it's his autobiography, although I reckon he's done obviously a bit with a ghostwriter. But very, well, I say that only because...
What's it called?
It's called Faster Than Lightning, My Story.
Great title.
Good bit at the start where he talks about family life, and then obviously getting in. I'm not finished yet. I've got 5 chapters. I'm planning actually to finish it today. I've been doing a lot of driving lately, so you can't really read and drive, and I prefer to read it rather than listen to it. But he just shares some very funny things. I think Jamaican culture, and I'm fair in saying this because he literally says it, they deal with, relationships and dating a lot different to, say, Western culture. And he just talks quite candidly about various things that are interesting. I'm like, this is very funny that he's including this in the book. And naturally then there's lots of parts of his training that he talks to as well. So yeah, I've just really enjoyed listening to that, reading that. So yeah, buying Usain Bolt's Faster Than Lightning. And if I can maybe just take a sec to preview as well, gonna be doing a new pod, separate to Never Run Alone, where I'm gonna be sharing a few of those insights. So stay tuned for that. I know I've spoken to you boys about it.
Big.
Good moment to maybe just plug that. There you go. That's my buy.
Love it. I am buying... this was brought to my attention by Sissy this morning on the run, and I loved it. And I'm going to buy it. That I think it was when it was over the weekend. The Antarctica Marathon was won by a woman for the first time ever. She beat the boys and ran a 3:40 in what was glacial. -8 feels like -18 in Antarctica, and she ran like I said, a 3:40, and there's also another female came third. So yeah, the girl's crushing it. But from Australia, Catherine Drysdale, 20th Antarctic Ice Marathon, and she was a winner, first female winner. Just thought I'd give that a shout out. Thought it was very cool. Maybe not first marathon on my list to do, but, never rule it out.
What do you reckon aid stations are like in the Antarctic Marathon? Like, are they... You've muted yourself. Say that again.
Here's an
icicle.
Suck on
cups
that.
of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, might be a bit hard to do the whole pinch and squeeze technique on the cups. I wonder if they have to sit in warm water or I don't know, a heater or something like that. Gels would freeze. That's, very difficult. What are you running?
40 is so good. Yeah, what are you running in? What shoes?
I think I could. She's running in. I saw a beanie, a North Face puffer, gloves,
Puffer.
glasses. Yeah, you'd be having to balance a fine line of running in that. So, yeah, very impressive.
Kudos. Yeah, running a marathon.
Big kudos. That'd be one hell of a Strava post.
Yeah.
It's haven't seen any runs in a week, and then it's just bang, marathon Antarctica. What the hell? Wonder what the GPS is like there.
Yeah, who knows?
Anyway, be interesting.
Chip time only.
There you go. A hat trick
Chip
of
time only.
buys. A hat trick of buys. That is the pod. Any other final thoughts, gents?
Next week, Christmas
We're doing a
quiz.
quiz. Yeah,
Christmas
so
quiz.
We're yet to figure out the dates, but I would love potentially to open it up if we can logistically manage it. Open it up to any listeners who want to join us on the pod. We're doing this recording right now via Riverside, and we can invite people on to also listen in. And maybe we just do the quiz, get it on the phone app. That'll be fun. Quizmaster Cam, let's see if you've got it in you. 20 question
I
quiz.
reckon.
No doubt.
Yeah, something like that. 20, 25, maybe like 5 categories of 5, and we'll go from there. Different running categories. Yeah,
love
we'll have
it.
to start working on that this weekend.
And I reckon, it's obviously going to be regarding running, but would like to say, and I mean, I'll participate. So I'm not trying to fuck with the questions too much here. Obviously, anyone can listen to this, but if you've listened to the pod this year and you're a dedicated listener, chances are you'll do well in the quiz. But who knows? Cam will probably throw in some.
Maybe not.
Based on his facial expressions, throw in some curveballs.
Maybe I'll throw some curveballs in there. You never know. Maybe there'll be some loose interpretations on running. You never know.
Ryan Hall or Khalid Kanuchi. We'll figure it all out.
Yeah, there won't be any of that stuff. There'll be questions you can actually get. You have to be a running nuffy like us.
Beautiful.
Love it.
We'll look forward to that next week. It is Christmas next week, and then we're rolling into 2026. So all of that to come.
We love it,
much, boys. That's been Never Run Alone. Come one, come all, come running.
Come running. Bang.
Come running.
See you next week.